Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Plan with Nicole, and today I'm going to be sharing some more custom filler pages for my cross stitch and quilting planner. I'm keeping these in my regular planner as their quilt and cross stitch alongs. I have divided this series into 3 videos right now just to kind of shorten them up. Today I am creating my filler pages for my Fat Quarter Shop heartfelt stitch along and quilt along projects that I am doing this year. This is the quilt along that I'm working on first. I'm using the Miss Maker large So Much Fun sticker over on the left side of the page. The filler paper I'm using here is the colored note paper. It's dot grid. I do think it might currently be sold out as of the day that this video is going up or being voiced over at the Happy Planner. If I can find it in stock elsewhere, I will link to it. But this is the pink filler paper. I like the dot grid if I'm going to be using some stencils to do more of a bullet journaling look. So I mentioned in my previous video, which I will link to here at the end of this video if you want to check it out, that I am doing a lot of the more bullet journal styling where I'm kind of creating my own boxes and things to make it really work for me. And I wanted to just show different examples of this. These pages more than likely will often include a lot of the Miss Maker line. My next video will show you how I'm incorporating some other supplies instead of Miss Maker, or in addition to, I guess. Not only am I using Miss Maker stickers, and this is a lot like my previous video, I suppose, in the fact that I'm using circle stickers to kind of label each of the individual boxes, but I kind of broke out of the smaller square with the little notched corners. I'm doing the bigger square, and then I'm also going to incorporate some of these rectangular little boxes as well, and I'm super excited about it. At this point I was starting to feel more comfortable with this. I had never really done bullet journaling at all. This is a very loose interpretation, I suppose, of bullet journaling, but that's where my inspiration came from. And I just kind of like the addition of the stickers and things to my spread. I liked the sewing machine sticker. I know the large Miss Maker book is out of stock at the Happy Planner. Again, that's another one that if I can find it in stock elsewhere, I will link to it. It's not brand new. I don't know if they come out with new Miss Maker every year or not. I hope so. I think just as planners, we probably all are makers anyway. We may have additional hobbies. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Whatever the case may be. I know I mentioned in my previous video, maybe you don't do quilting or cross stitching, like I'm doing. Maybe your thing is gardening. Imagine doing something very similar with some of the beautiful gardening stickers that Happy Planner has. I think that would be amazing. There's just a lot you can do with this style of planning. I'm really, really excited about this. I know I mentioned this also in my previous video, the first video in this little mini series, but I'm excited about this because I've wanted a way to keep track of these projects since so many are ongoing. And it has been really fun to be able to start writing in them as I complete different parts of these stitch alongs or quilt alongs. I'm actually really far behind on both of these. I didn't get started very soon, but I have finished quite a bit now in both of them. And so I'm really excited to have somewhere to kind of keep track of that and stay on top of it. So it's fun for me to keep a record of that. It's a nice cross between scrapbooking, I suppose, memory keeping, I guess I should call it, and planning. And I really like how they just kind of go hand in hand. As I finish projects, I will be moving them into a more of a planning style, a planner for those specific projects. But in the meantime, I'm keeping them in my catch-all planner in the sections I created. I have made dividers for both of these additional hobbies in my planner so I can kind of keep track of all the things I'm working on. I am going to be using larger circles. On my previous video, I used a little bit smaller circles. I was running out of that size, and so I actually just moved on. There's so many circles, so it was a really great way to add the customization. And the amount of boxes I have, so you can see I used the front and the back of this filler page. There are, looks like 8 boxes. There are 8 months, or 8, I believe, of this stitch along. I want to say that I have a cheat sheet. Let me see if I am correct about that. Yes. So that's why there's 8 boxes. That's generally kind of how I'm doing it, so I can keep track of, you know, what's what and how much I've gotten done. The smaller boxes here on the side are going to be where, like, I write what it is, when it started, and hopefully when I finish. That's my plan for those 3 smaller boxes next to the sewing machine. So the top box, what quilt along it is. The middle box is going to be the date I started, which was like 2 months late. And the final box is going to be the day I finish this, or, you know, I get it back from the quilter and the binding is on, or whatever the case may be. I decided to soften my spread by adding some floral washi. If you have caught any of my other just regular planning videos for either dashboard or vertical here on my channel, you will know I love the PinkFresh washi. This is washi that comes on a roll that you can die cut with a coordinating die. Obviously, I know a lot of you either know this already or you've heard me say this, but if you're new, I will go ahead and repeat it. I am a full-time card content creator, so a lot of things that I have already and love are from the card making world, and I love how I can bring them into planning, my other hobby, and use them for both. Well, PinkFresh is definitely more a card making, scrapbooking type of company, but I have found that their floral washis are something that I absolutely adore in my planners, and I've started using them more and more because I absolutely love it. I like kind of framing up my boxes with these washis. So you're going to see that I lay the washi out in order to make these washi stickers. It does come on a roll, as I just mentioned, so I put it on some wax paper. I find wax paper is good because the release is super easy and it stays put while I run it through the die cutting machine. I know I saw on the PinkFresh channel, I think they were showing they put it on parchment paper. Parchment tends to want to release it really quickly. The great thing about wax paper, and honestly, you guys, I use parchment paper in my kitchen only. I don't use wax paper hardly at all anymore, ever. I had to buy a roll of wax paper just to make my washi stickers, which is totally fine. I also use it as a planning guide. You've probably seen me use it as a planning guide, but my wax paper resides in my craft room and not my kitchen. So I just highly recommend the wax paper. You can see me pulling it apart here. Yes, it might take you know, something sharp like your tweezers. You probably have tweezers if you're a planner, just because it helps with sticker placement anyway. But I find it works amazing. You can die cut a bunch of stickers all at once, which is what I did for several of my filler pages. And then I was able to, as I could, create filler pages for these. I also use a craft knife and a little mini ruler. I have linked both of those down below in case you're interested at all, to kind of clean up the edges and also remove parts from boxes where I want to write things down. I want to make sure that I have a nice clean box in order to write. I want it to be functional, but I love the florals framing it up. And I don't know what it is, you guys, but there's something super satisfying about removing little parts and pieces from your box after you have trimmed it with your craft knife. I am using the back of this filler paper as I use the back of my planning pages. And as long as you don't press so super hard with your craft knife, it's not going to cut through to the other side. Sometimes you'll notice I have to take a pass or two because I try not to press too terrible hard with my original little trim there because I don't want to cut through to the other side. So there you saw me cut really gentle a couple of times, and then I take my tweezers and I peel away that excess. So that is looking super cute. I think I need to maybe add just like a little pink flower to the front. And there you can see my first filler page. It did make a little appearance in this video. I think I mentioned this in my first video, but I had originally planned to make this all in one video, and it was so long because it's a lot of filler pages that I broke it into 3 sections, and I will probably add to it as, you know, I add projects and things to my never-ending quilt along and stitch alongs. I'm kind of addicted to them. I love it. But I will add to that as we go, but it won't be constant or anything like that. And you know, as I find other ways that I want to create, I will be adding to that. Now I want to decorate the back of this, but remember the back of this has 6 boxes already and it's pretty full. The back of this sheet, so 1 sheet for 1 project on this one. I know my last video required 2 sheets because it's a much longer quilt along with a lot of different blocks. This one has just a few different blocks and it's broken into months instead of weeks. So you're doing more per month. I hope that makes sense. But you're doing multiples of the blocks, the quilt blocks. I will link to that down below if you're interested as well. I am an affiliate with the quilts shop that I love. I actually have supported this particular quilt shop for years, back when I didn't have quilt shops near me, when I lived elsewhere, and I absolutely love it. They have a ton of fantastic content on their YouTube channel. The owner really does a great job with sew-alongs, and they have started doing cross stitch. I'm not exactly sure when. I did take a couple, well, probably more than a couple years off from quilting. And when I came back to it, they had really added a lot of cross stitch, which cross stitch was like my first love. My mom taught me how to do it when I was young. And so that was exciting. And I've really kind of got back into that as well. So I'm always doing something crafty. I'm sure you guys as makers are always doing crafty things as well. So here I am just adding a few little pieces to finish off my quilting section here for the heartfelt stitch along and quilt along, pardon me. We'll do the stitch along next, which is the cross stitch one. They are very similar. And also it's a free pattern. However, they do ask for donations to make a wish, which I think is awesome. I have supported this for quite a few years. In fact, I have never finished one of their stitch alongs. I can't tell you how many kits I've bought in the past. I donate, and I actually sold any of my partial starts and stuff several years ago. And so I'm really excited because I'm going to finish this one this year. You guys have heard it here first, so you guys can keep me accountable. But I will link to it down below if you're interested at all. If you're a cross stitcher or a quilter, you don't have to do it with the fabrics they're showing. You can use anything you have, but it's really awesome. And even if you can just donate a little bit to Make-A-Wish, that would be incredible. I decided to add some labels to my boxes. This was a total last minute addition, but I loved like all these little arrows and stuff from the box. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do like month 1 or block 1, block 2, block 3, you know, etc. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to create a very similar design for my stitch along, but we're going to just make the boxes a little bit smaller. And I believe that the stitch along is a little shorter. Again, the pattern is free. It is released monthly. I guess I forgot to mention about the quilt. So if you're interested, they just ask for, you know, a donation to Make-A-Wish. You don't have to, but I encourage you to donate if you can. Every little bit helps. They're really awesome. I just think it's incredible that they give back so much. It's one of the reasons I support that quilt shop, because I just love their nature and what they give back to. For Black History Month, they did a Quilt Along as well, and they donated, and I love it. I think it's amazing how much they give back. So here are the rest of my little flags, and I'm just picking them at random. All the Miss Maker goes so well. I know I talked about this in my last video too, but I love the dot grid paper, and I think Happy Planners should make more because it always sells out. Both of the paper, all of the paper, I guess I should say, I'm using is sold out at the Happy Planner currently, and I think that's a testament to how popular it is. All right, I am using my T-square ruler and a pencil to kind of mark where the center of my page is. And this is going to give me a really good guide for creating my stitch along page. I wanted to share the setup process. I'm pretty crazy, I think, about how I set this up, but I like it to be centered or as close to centered as possible. You're going to see some similarities to what I just created, and then you're going to see some similarities to my previous filler pages. So I'm using that same square from my previous filler page. And stay tuned, y'all. I have an unboxing I got into the stencil thing for bullet journaling, and I actually bought some more stencils. I'm really excited about them, so stay tuned for that coming soon. But you're going to see similarities from both of these, including, so this box, and then before on my previous video, I also used box stickers from the Happy Planner Miss Maker book, or the square quote stickers, I guess I should say, intermixed with this particular square because I really like how that breaks up the design or breaks up the grid a little bit. I've also started a little bit further up from the bottom because we're going to put something down at the bottom when we're done. Kind of similar to our previous, our Quilt Along, I'm going to have 3 small boxes in the upper left mixed in with our squares. 3 little rectangle flag boxes, kind of the similar thing, what it is, the date I started, the date I finished. Like either if I finish it myself or I have it framed. I'm not a huge fan of finishing cross stitch projects myself. I think I have found a local cross stitch shop that frames. But you guys tell me, if any of you are cross stitchers, can you tell me if you've had good luck with like any of the more like the box stores like Michael's or Hobby Lobby framing them? I just can't decide. I'm going to take a piece to this cross stitch shop, but I would just like to know everybody else's experience. I mean, many years ago, I want to say like 20 maybe more years ago, I had 2 pieces framed, one at a quilt shop, and it is beautiful. And then I had one framed at Hobby Lobby, and they did a good job as well. But do they still do that? Because like I said, that's 20 some years ago. I actually want to have the one that I had at Hobby Lobby reframed. Nothing's wrong with it other than my frame style has completely changed. It's this Santa that I did. He's like rustic, and I want like a weathered wood frame. That's probably more information than you guys ever wanted to know. But I just want to have it reframed. But let me know if you're a cross stitcher, what do you do with your finished cross stitch projects? Because I have finished now, I have 3 that I have finished since I picked this back up, I want to say last summer-ish. I finished 3, I have 2 in progress. This one and another one I started a while back that I need to finish up. And I told myself I can't start anything else. I do have a couple more patterns I've purchased, but I'm trying to be really careful and not overcommit myself because I'm really trying to finish projects. I'm really loving the design of this particular spread. So it's going to have, it's a 3x3, but then we're mixing in one of the 3x3 sections, we're going to mix in some flags. So that's what that open section is going to be. And then in the other open section, I added Love to Create. I like that blue sticker against the pink paper. And once we frame it up with some of the floral stickers, you guys, I love, love, love it. Okay, this is probably my all-time favorite hack. I know you saw me do this on my previous video, but I got smarter. I think I mentioned this also in the previous video. We are going to lay out our sticker that says make all the things. I don't remember if I trimmed this one down or not. There is a banner on this journaling stencil from the Happy Planner, and the journaling stencils, last I checked before the video, are still in stock. So I do want to mention that. I love them. Probably one of those things that you don't just look at and think that you need, but if you like making your own filler pages, whatever they're for, maybe they're for your weekly spread, maybe they're for, you know, whatever, they're amazing. So I'm going to line up the left side of the banner, and I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to trace it so that it fits exactly. This is what I didn't do before. I just traced it and then I made my sticker work. Well, we're going to conform this to the sticker. So then I'm going to move the other side and I'm going to make my flag banner with my Papermate Flare marker, and then I simply colored it in. The base of this sticker is gray, so I'm just using my gray marker, and then I'm just kind of tracing around the edge of the sticker to make it a little bit more handmade looking. You guys, my favorite hack for this stencil. Make your strip or phrase stickers into banners, and that can go, again, for anything. If you would like to see me do some more of the bullet journaling style for my regular vertical and dashboard spreads, let me know. I'll consider it. I've thought about it a little bit, and I think it might be something kind of fun to try. Okay, I have added little stickers to the boxes again. I just like that look. We will switch that up going forward for some of my next filler pages, I think, at least for one of them for sure. And then I'm going through all of my Miss Maker sticker books. So I may use some things from sticker books that are no longer in stock. Hopefully you might still have them. I'm just trying to see what else I want to add right now. I am going to speed up the video just a little bit since a lot of this is repetition. I did want to show how I took this large box and I am just tracing a portion of it. So tracing the sides and the top, and then I'm going to take it and move it up and trace the bottom. And that's how you can shorten or customize any box, really. If you want to use a stencil, it works great. So I just wanted to create like a little long box down here along the bottom. I was really thinking that this section would be the date that I have it like framed, or maybe where I get it framed or how I finish it, whatever. So that was what I did there. I have that nice section. I have been adding like some label stickers and whatnot down along the bottom, but for this one I ended up just adding a long sticker box. And then I'm going to speed up the video again and finish decorating it with some washi florals. Now I had left that box in the upper left kind of open, but I am going to go ahead and add some more of the stencil bullet journaling type of little like flag banners here. So they're going to be small, but I think that'll be great. And then that little heart that I used to decorate the bottom long box that I just created, I'm going to use similar little hearts for the little flags up here. So this is the other stencil you get in the journaling stencil pack. You get 2 stencils and then I think a dashboard or a divider. I actually I just kind of put that in my storage bucket because the journals I've left out to use. Any of my Happy Planner stencils are very accessible because I use those a lot. You can see I'm also shortening up these little flags. They're a little too long, so I'm using the dot grid on the background to help me kind of gauge how big I want those or how long I want those. I probably could have left that open since I'm going to cover it with a sticker, but I wasn't thinking. And then I'm trying to find what little title I want to add. I end up adding the little blue handmade. I thought the aqua handmade looked nice with the Love to Create box. And of course it's already got its little florals around it, which I love. I like all the hearts. This is called the Heartfelt Stitch Along. I like the hearts anyway, but it definitely fits the theme. I am going forward, maybe try to match my decor to the theme if possible. I probably won't always, because I don't think it always matters, but it is kind of fun. And then I'm going to add some florals around my banner up here because there's quite a bit of open space up here as well. I had to be kind of creative. So I'm going to trim off the top, and then I'm actually just going to move this little bottom piece down underneath so there's some pretty greenery hanging down below. I maybe won't use the entire thing, so I'm probably going to need to trim off a little bit more of this. And then there's a butterfly that comes in this particular washi set, and this washi is called English Garden. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. I will have links to all of the different products I've used today listed and linked down in the description below in case you're interested. If you don't have die cutting machines, you can always, get washi and fussy cut it with your scissors. That's totally cool too. Die cutting obviously is so super quick and easy, but if you are good with a craft knife, and I know you planners, so many are great with craft knives, you could definitely cut this out or even cut it with scissors. I would have to cut it with scissors. I'm terrible with my craft knife unless it's a straight line like on this. So we're just going to finish off with our little florals. And that is it, you guys. The back of this page is not going to have any decoration on it. That's completely fine. I am going to leave that as is. I can add another project to the back of this at some point in my planner or not. Does not matter to me. It's a working planner, so whatever works there. I just love being able to, at a glance, see what's happening and keep track of it all. I am going to, in each of these boxes, put the section that we're stitching, the date it started, and the date I finished. And again, I am behind on this one as well. I made myself finish my fall stitch along and my Christmas stitch along before I started this one. Even though I bought all the supplies for it, I made myself wait to start. So it's a little behind, but hey, that's totally fine. I'm doing better. And then I did decide to add a few of these little leftover leaf pieces, or trim down some little leaf pieces to add along the bottom edge. And I will show you both of these side by side. I love that they match since the Quilt Along and Stitch Along go hand in hand together, and I will add links to those down below in case anyone else is interested in joining me. Definitely let me know. Here are the filler pages I have so far. I am loving it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new planning video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.